Hey everybody, welcome back to another movie reaction. This time we're hopping right back into the DCEU, aka Zack Snyder's vision for the story he was trying to tell until he was rudely interrupted by the studios. We're on the road to Zack Snyder's Justice League being released on HBO Max on March 18th. I'm looking forward to that. I've been looking forward to that for years. So I've decided to, what better way to get myself excited for this than to hop right back into where the DCEU started, which was for Man of Steel back in 2013. And I actually remember going to see that movie like opening night. Like I went and I stood in line for like 6 hours after work. And that was like after meeting, I was already meeting my friend who was already in line. And the one thing that really stood out to me about that night was I was having a blast because I was like getting hyped because of all the trailers that were dropping. And I was like super getting into Superman around the time. Like I was getting like into comics. Just because like Watchmen that came out in 2009 like really piqued my interest on like accepting comic books as like an actual, you know, a medium that you can actually read and not feel embarrassed about, etc. But nowadays comic book like stuff is mainstream, so I guess you could say back then I was ahead of the times, but etc, etc, etc. But getting involved in with superheroes like on a comic basis was something big to me because I never really read comics as a kid. I was mostly the kid who would like watch the cartoons, like Batman the animated series, Justice League, Superman, X-Men, Spider-Man. You know, those animated series, I watched them. My favorite hero as a kid was Batman. So growing up, I never really was a Superman fan. And it was only until I watched Smallville. You know, I saw some of Lois and Clark. I even know that there's like a Superman and Lois show that's out right now. And it's supposed to follow the DC TV shows like Arrow and Flash. And I watched some Arrow. I watched some Flash. I know now they're doing like crossovers. They have like Legion. They have like other shows now too, like Supergirl that like cross over into it too. Basically, DC has like this big TV universe happening right now. And while their movie division's kind of like struggling, I actually really enjoyed how everything started. I really enjoyed how Zack Snyder took the concept of Superman, modernized it, and was trying to tell a story that was, at a more human level. And I think he accomplished it. I think Man of Steel is a very underrated. I think it's, a masterpiece in its own right. I think it's like fine wine. It gets better with each viewing. And I make it a point to watch this every couple of months. If not, I just, watch certain segments or scenes from the film because I really, really enjoy this film a lot. And I really enjoy the gritty take on it, the more modern day. What would happen if Superman, an alien, arrived on Earth with all these superpowers? And that's the thing. Superman is an alien. And when you see those previous Superman movies, and I do respect them a lot, especially the first two with Christopher Reeve, you see Superman, but you see him he's painted in a certain light where you hear he's an alien, but he doesn't really act like it. We don't really get to see what Krypton is about aside from just a sheet of white ice. I feel like here Zack Snyder got to let his creativity run wild. He's created worlds like Krypton, we're going to find out and see, has all these like intricate little details and wildlife, and you just see a world of just scientific like treasure right before your eyes. And it's one of the reasons why I really enjoy Zack Snyder, because he has a specific vision. He's so passionate about what he's doing, and I believe him when he says he's like huge fan of these like larger than life heroes, and I think it really comes off in his work. So I'm really excited to hop right back into Man of Steel, but I do want to say that we fucks with Zack Snyder hardcore on this channel, so if you are a Zack Snyder hater or you're just here to troll or whatever, kindly see your way out, because here we're going to be enjoying this, because I want to appreciate all the callbacks when Zack Snyder's Justice League is released, because in the trailer we got to hear like lines from Man of Steel, and we're gonna see him take his first flight in the black suit, which is obviously a callback to this movie. So yeah, I'm interested in watching this. So if you're interested in watching this along with me in its entirety, it's available right now on my Patreon. Multiple tiers to choose from. But I recommend checking this out along with the next one. I'm going to be doing Batman v Superman. And then when March 18th rolls around, we're going to be hopping right into Zack Snyder's Justice League. I'm pretty sure it's broken up into 6 chapters, so I'm probably going to do like that. I'm going to break it up into 6 videos. Check that out on my Patreon when the time comes. Subscribe now, check it out now, because when it happens, you want to be there to get it first. And we'll go from there. Yeah, otherwise, like, comment, share, and subscribe. We're going to hop right back into Man of Steel and enjoy the best Superman movie ever made by my boy Zack Snyder. Alright guys, here we go.
We've had a child, Zod. Krypton's first natural birth in centuries. And he will be free. Destroy it!
I like how Jor-El's not even surprised. He said it's like he knew it would come to this, and he accepts his fate.
You believe your son is safe? I will find him!
And the ships are so cool too. And here you see glimpses of Kryptonian technology that opens a portal into what we know as the Phantom Zone. Remember when people said that Superman doesn't save anybody in this movie? Such an incredible visual, and I love how he's still struggling. He's struggling with this, he's still learning, he's still growing, he's getting more powerful. Like Smallville, we saw Clark develop his powers and go through these stages as a teenager. But here, he's developing these powers as a child, so naturally it's scary to him.
Focus on my voice. Pretend it's an island out in the ocean. Can you see it? I see it.
Like, this is terrifying. This visual of kids being trapped in a bus. And just that triumphant music that just complements the scene, just how it swells up. Majestic, powerful. And he even goes back and saves the bully. And this is where we get the controversial tough talk between father and son. I like how they tackle hard decisions.
What was I supposed to do?
Like, they tackle conflict here.
Maybe.
Oh boy. To compare and to contrast this bully scene versus the bully scene in Superman 2.
Back off, Leto. I'm serious.
Oh, come on, Chrissy.
Knock it off.
This day and age, this guy would get canceled so hard. Once again, not trying to show off his powers like someone in Superman 2 did. I love this moment too, how it's like very subtle.
Hi.
Their first meeting, and they didn't even know it. Lois is always like a really strong character, and I love how she kind of takes charge immediately.
So if we're done measuring dicks, can you have your people show me what you found?
Once again, they cross paths like ships in the night. Love the detail that he has to shake it off afterwards, like it's like he's emitting so much energy and power. And this is neat.
Hello?
Because it's uploading Jor-El's consciousness into it. I don't know how he did it, but he did it. See, this is the scene. There's a brief shot of one open and empty. See, right there. Once again, remember when they say Clark doesn't save anybody, or Superman doesn't save anybody. But even with that brief interaction, we kind of learn more about where he is power-wise, like then to the laser thing, which obviously he can control the intensity of it.
My name is Jor-El. And Cal, that's my name.
So instead of keeping on expanding and seeing what's out there, they decided to try to do it all in-house until they ran out of the resources. Both Zod and Jor-El tried to do what they needed to in order to save their people, but too late.
So I'm alone. No, there is much a chance.
And that will come back into later, the epic yell of rage. I know some people would be like, how is the suit just there ready for him? I'm guessing that outfit was kind of like used as in an ambassador role. So this must be the House of El ambassador outfit. I'm not sure, but It does seem a little weird how it's just there waiting for him. I'm just trying to make up some sort of excuse as to why it's there.
I just want to do something useful with my life.
So farming, feeding people, that's not useful.
He's just trying to be a protective father. It's like trying to keep him on the farm. Like at the beginning of this conversation, it's like, I don't want safe. I want more. The last thing you had with your father was an argument. The family dog. See, already this scene's getting me nervous because I already know what's gonna happen. And I know it's a controversial scene, but I'm gonna give you guys my honest take on it. And to people saying that who would go back for the dog, I would definitely 100% go back for my dog if it was stuck in the car. It's so like terrifying, and the music's just like swelling up. It's just tragedy. You know what's coming. You just see Mother Nature at its cruelest. I do not believe Clark had super speed. Even if he tried running, he would not have made it in time. It's a hard visual, and it's controversial. I like how not everyone agrees with it. And at that point, he wanted to keep everybody else under the overpass to make sure that they're safe. One life versus the life of many. And that's the hard situation. That's the hard picture that they painted. He had to make the hard choice. And a blink and you miss it type of situation. That was a LexCorp truck.
When you were a baby, I used to lay by your crib at night, listening to you breathe. You struggled.
I think this guy is Martian Manhunter in disguise, that we're going to find out in Justice League. It makes sense because he's right there learning about what's happening. And it makes sense for Martian Manhunter to keep an eye out on things like this.
What's going on?
It's all over the news.
See, once again, this movie just continues the momentum. I love the detail of how it's translated worldwide, so no matter where Clark is in the world, this message is getting to you.
For some time, your world has sheltered one of my citizens. Surrender within 24 hours. Or watch this world suffer the consequences.
You just have to decide what kind of man you want to grow up to be, Clark. Whoever that man is, good character or bad, he's going to change the world.
And I love how Jonathan is basically giving him the real talk, like, I can only guide you for so long. And no matter what you decide, you are going to be the game changer.
I'll surrender. But only if you guarantee
If that is Martian Manhunter, what is he thinking right now?
General Zod would like this woman to accompany me.
That's so random. Not really, because she's the one that was basically investigating Clark, following him, hard on his heels this entire time. He wants information, like what did he share with her? And look at Clark, how his voice cracks a little bit. The atmosphere already taking its toll on him.
You've spent a lifetime adapting to Earth's psychology, but you never adapted to ours. I and my fellow officers were sentenced to the Phantom Zone, and then the destruction of our world freed us.
See, they're not monsters. They just want to go home. They're extremists who tried to do everything they could to save their home. And to pay attention to this scene, how it sucks in the rocks also around it. Look. And how they reappear here and the rocks shoot out everywhere. Look. That's our kryptonite, boys and girls.
We detected a distress beacon, which you triggered when you accessed the ancient scout ship. And now it's within your power to save what remains of your race.
Krypton lives again. What happens to Earth?
The foundation has to be built on something. Even your father recognized that.
Zod said this foundation has to be built on something. You cannot build something out of nothing.
Remember, the phantom drives are essential in stopping them.
So he basically shared all the information with her that she will then tell Clark.
You can save her, Cal. You can save all of them.
And of course, Clark, aka Superman who doesn't save anybody, is saving Lois.
I'm sorry. I didn't want to tell them anything about you, but they did something to me. They looked inside my mind.
It's okay, Lois.
And realized that they know about his mom.
Where is the Codex? You think you can threaten my mother?
Little reckless at first, but guess what? It's a reverse of what happened earlier with Clark having to get used to his ship. Now Zod has to get used to Earth. Look closely. Here it comes. And pop. Ugh. Now, I want to play devil's advocate with this situation because everyone's always like, well, why didn't they take the fight elsewhere? Feora and the big guy, like, they don't care about human life. And once again, those eye beams being super powerful that it even is cutting through and damage them through their armor is once again something that I'm going to bring up later. Uh-oh. Too bad Superman's not going to save him.
You okay?
Here comes one of the coolest scenes in the whole movie. The one that really puts Feora over the top as like god tier secondary villain. Just fast as all hell, strong. Like you're seeing these like unbreakable beings trying to break each other in a breakable world. And here, a missile just knocks her out. You see them as threats, like unstoppable threats that match Superman in strength and power. It's a scary situation. There's literally no prison on Earth that can contain them. And I love this, like everyone just kind of drops their guns because they realize this guy isn't our enemy.
This man is not our enemy.
Clark, I know how to stop them.
Maybe the cop heard the name Clark, maybe he didn't. Either way, you can't prove that he lives there because the mom would deny it.
Does Kal-El need to be alive for us to extract the codex from his cells?
No.
Release the world engine.
I love perspective shots like this. Like that would be terrifying. Like what would you do or think seeing that?
We have a plan, General.
This ship is powered by something called a phantom drive. So if we open up this doorway, then theoretically they should be pulled back in.
If that thing is making Earth more like Krypton, won't you be weaker around it?
Maybe.
And once again, selfless Clark.
Stop me from trying.
Here you go. I love this little smile she gives off. Look. You can tell that there's actual chemistry between both characters. That's fucked up.
I need to secure the Genesis chamber and pay my respects to an old friend.
He's getting everything ready because he thinks he's about to win. Terraforming Earth, I'm getting the Genesis chamber ready to rebuild Krypton all in one day. I feel like as this being the central starting point of the DCEU, I feel like this Black Zero event should be referenced in every movie. That's just me.
Our people can coexist. You're talking about genocide.
Yes, and I'm arguing its merits with a ghost.
Zod, instead of going through years of pain of trying to adapt, he would rather just wipe humans out altogether. Crazy. There is no coexisting. It's Krypton or nothing.
I will harvest the codex from your son's corpse, and I will rebuild Krypton atop his bones.
So far, I think Zod is like perfect, especially when he comes back as Doomsday to finish that arc of him finally getting his revenge on Superman. But the fact that he stabs and kills Jor-El, Doomsday stabs and kills Superman, it's poetic in a way. And the visual of this, Clark fighting against the weight of the world, pushing through against all adversity, all odds. Christopher Reeve, right about now. I love the visual of him reaching out for the sun so he can soak it in, get some power, basically charge himself up so he can go back out there and save the day again. I wish it was more of like a science-y problem instead of just literally just...
It's supposed to go in all the way!
Like no one thought to... Love the visual of Zod ship just appearing out of the smoke.
Target that aircraft.
Target locked.
If you destroy this ship, you destroy Krypton! Krypton had its chance!
Unfortunately, all those little babies are now destroyed. Like, instead of that, I would have rathered Lois and Dr. Hamilton, like, look over calculations on a computer or something. Wilhelm scream. Just nothing will stop her. And he knows it, too. But I love his badass moment of looking her in the eyes, like, gives her that line back to him.
A good death is its own reward.
Eat shit. And... Okay, so this scene... Why didn't it suck Lois in? I really don't have a good answer for it, to be honest. He thought it was over. He thought Zod was pulled in also, but nope. Zod is broken at this point. His whole mission was stopped thanks to Superman, so he's blinded by rage. I guess you could say at this point he has a death wish and he doesn't want to live anymore.
I exist only to protect Krypton.
He wants to die. He was looking to die.
My soul. That.
See, he's demonic at this point. He has no more soul.
These humans you've adopted, I will take them all from you one by one.
LexCorp again. And this is where Zod basically spells out, you need to kill me in order to stop me.
Either you die or I do. I was bred to be a warrior, Cavill. Where did you train? On a farm?
Look at him. I love how he just flexes out of his armor like, I don't need this shit anymore. You can fly, so can I. And I love this. I mean, we never get like a good fight like in the air like this. Remember The Incredibles, no capes? He throws from and he goes through how many buildings? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Tossed about in space. We got a Wayne satellite right there. Zod's like, nah, let's take this back down to Earth. See, this is the one thing I'll give people complaining. Like Lois just appearing where Superman is later. Like he's trying to hold Zod down. Zod is out of control at this point.
If you love these people so much, you can mourn for them. Don't do this! Stop!
Superman warning him, giving him many warnings. Don't do this. Stop. Stop.
Never.
Superman has to do this. There's no other option. And this is not like in Superman 2, where Superman kills Zod and smiles about it. This Superman is in pain. He had to kill off the last of his own race. Same people he's been looking for this entire movie. But he made his choice. I'm surprised Superman didn't do anything with Zod's body. I'm surprised he allowed the government to take possession of it, but it is what it is.
I know you're trying to find out where I hang my cape. You won't.
How do we know you won't one day act against America's interests?
Look, I'm here to help. But it has to be on my own terms.
Love that.
He always believed you were meant for greater things.
Yeah. I suppose you could have been here to see it finally happen.
He saw it, Clark, believe me.
Here we go with the glasses. This is the one thing I didn't like. He helped save your life, and you're not even gonna like go see a basketball game with him.
This is Clark Kent.
Hi.
I love this. Welcome to the planet.
Welcome to the planet.
Love it. Double meaning, obviously, but love it. Okay, guys, so that was Man of Steel. Great fucking movie. I mean, it felt like those 2 hours, 2+ hours, just kind of flew by. I found myself lost in the story yet again. And the one thing I really enjoy about this Superman movie, opposed to the ones we've gotten before, is that it freshened things up where Kryptonite was not the bane of Superman's existence here. It wasn't Lex Luthor and his real estate schemes to try to get one over on Superman and screw over the American public. It was superpowered alien versus superpowered alien for the fate of the world. One hell of an opening for a DC EU storyline. Now, I did make comments during my reaction where I was saying that I felt like the Black Zero event that happened at Metropolis, like that basically the shot heard around the world, the alien invasion. I feel like that central point should have been expanded on or included in each DCEU movie, and that moment should have had some sort of like implications, or they should have like helped shape our heroes. For example, we see in the next movie how it shapes Batman's mentality. He's blinded by rage. He sees the superpowered alien appear on Earth, and within a blink of an eye, Metropolis is like eviscerated, destroyed, and he's been so jaded. And well, we'll get into that all when we get to Batman v Superman. But I feel like, for example, for Wonder Woman, they should have added a scene where, like modern day, like that at the time that they get word that there's an alien invasion happening, there should have been a scene where Queen Hippolyta is there with any one of her generals saying, "We got word that there's something happening outside of Themyscira. There's an alien invasion." I feel like there should have been a scene like that saying, "We've got word. Should we do something? What if this affects us?" And I feel like they should have had a scene where Queen Hippolyta is like, "That doesn't concern us. We are to protect our own." I feel like that scene could have helped bring a little bit more context to who they are as a people and how they really don't want to get involved with man's problems, man's war, etc., etc. I just think that would have been cool, especially if you were to like see characters like Aquaman, like what he was doing at the time that this all happened. Maybe he was at a bar drinking, and he's like, "Whoa, something's like, harshing my buzz," and, stuff like that. I feel like that core moment should have been a staple that each movie is like hung on. You know what I mean? Because I feel like it's creating big questions, big problems, big storylines. Because it feels larger than life. It feels bigger than you and me, which is why I feel like this movie works in a lot of ways. Because it doesn't hold back, it doesn't pull its punches literally, and I said this during the reaction, it is basically two unbreakable beings trying to break each other in a breakable world, and they're fighting for possession of this planet. People say, well, Superman could have flown Zod up to space and they could have fought. You don't think Zod is just going to fly his ass straight back down to Earth and wreak more havoc? You know what I mean? So yeah, you can argue, is it worth it? You have to weigh your options here. You want to keep Zod at close range. You have to just kind of accept the fatalities and the destruction at this point because it is brought up in the next movie. And I always feel like this movie gets a lot of flack because it is Superman and people don't really, or they just don't want to accept that he is superpowered being, and that if you were to come across someone who's literally just like him with the same powers, same abilities, with a different mindset, fueled by rage and wants to destroy, what do you think is going to happen? That's what I just don't understand about the haters, because this movie spells out everything. You know what I mean? There's just like a couple of gripes that whatever, but I think this movie is an underrated, and I feel like it's an underrated masterpiece. I think Zack Snyder created the perfect Superman movie, and I feel like it is such a strong start to the DCEU. And honestly, I think I want to see more callbacks to this, like with the open pod, like when Clark first discovers the scout ship buried in the ice, that open pod. I wonder if we'll get a callback to that in Justice League. We're already getting callbacks in the trailers from Jonathan Kent saying, you have to decide who you're going to be because it's going to change the world or whatever. And we get a shot of Black Suit Superman taking his first flight, which circles back to his first flight in this movie. So yeah, I mean, there's just a lot happening, a lot that happened, a lot that was setting up for future movies that I eat up, and I'm enjoying. I'm entertained. I love rewatching this movie and appreciating it more and more. Like I said earlier, it's like fine wine, gets better with every viewing. And yeah, I really enjoyed this movie. I really enjoy the storyline Zack set up, the world Zack has set up for us. And I can't wait to see it continue in Batman vs. Superman next time when we get into that movie. And then soon after that, we'll get into Zack Snyder's Justice League. And I can't wait to do that because it's been a long time coming, and it's finally going to be, we're finally going to cap off his version of the story the way he wanted it, the way he intended. So more than looking forward to March 18th. Really enjoyed Man of Steel. I personally would give it like an A- B+ range. I would watch it again and again. I mean, it's not perfect, but it's pretty damn close. And as far as superhero movies go, Zack Snyder's hitting it out of the park. This, along with Watchmen, and of course, you know, Dark Knight, are my favorite comic book movies. And it is for a reason. I'm glad that Christopher Nolan gave Zack Snyder his blessing and chose him to like be the person to kickstart the DCEU. And it was a solid choice. I think Zack is very talented. He's proven it time and time again. And he has a loyal fan base that really loves him and is passionate about his work and supports him 110%. And it's like, it's not every day that you see like the director win against the studio. And Zack Snyder is a winner big time, you know, because he has Justice League coming out and he also has Army of the Dead coming out. He has projects under his belt. Like, people who wanted him to fail or whatever, like, get a life. Seriously. Because I'm enjoying this, and I can't wait to see what Zack Snyder can bring us next. Because I love his vision, I love his style, I love I love the way he tells a story. I'll just leave it there. Stop yapping. If you guys enjoyed my review, enjoyed my reaction, you could watch this movie with me in its entirety right now on my Patreon. Links are in the description down below or pinned in the top comment. If you don't want to check out my Patreon, don't worry, don't feel obligated to. You can like, comment, share, and subscribe. Show me all the support in the world here on YouTube. And I'll catch you guys next time when we watch Batman v Superman: Dawn of Justice, the Ultimate Edition. Whew. All right, guys. Catch you next time. Adios.